Episode 736. Yi Shu, on the other hand, was watching from Chen Guo's computer, not particularly invested in the fight. He'd glance over casually every now and then while sending a message to Wei Chen.
Hey, if this ends up going to Bluebrook Guild, would you feel the pressure?
No shit I do. You think I'm not in Bluebrook Guild? If I get kicked out of the guild, the loss would be huge. You know how good the benefits are in a big guild.
Just as I thought. Still online.
That's called professionalism. You run into excellent era, you gonna hold back out of old loyalty?
Depends on who I run into.
Chi.
Wei Chen replied, clearly unimpressed. After that, Yi Shu kept glancing at the match from time to time, but his main focus was weaving through the Poison Fang swamp, trying not to be spotted by the 8 guilds, yet unwilling to stray too far from their circle. Over in the Venom Fang swamp, it was eerily quiet today. The 8 major guilds, wary of any unexpected trouble, had kept the identity of the boss under wraps when they called for a decisive showdown. The Heavenly Domain map is vast. Trying to search it like this is completely impractical. As for the other club guilds, even if they had intel by now, seeing the stance these 8 had taken, just as Yi Shu had said, it was already too late for them to try and grab a piece of the pie, so they simply chose not to stir up any trouble. Over at the arena, the 8 guilds didn't follow the Pro League's format to the letter. That would have taken too long, and they weren't about to waste time. So in the end, they settled on a single team match to decide the winner. The rules were exactly the same as the Pro League, 5 versus 5, with 1 substitute per side. Since the match was thrown together on a whim, with teams formed and deployed in a flash, the map was randomized for fairness. Neither side had any tactical setup. They just clashed head-on, straight and simple. In the end, Misty Rain couldn't hold out and was defeated by Central Herb Hall, becoming the first to be eliminated. Misty Rain was a little disappointed, but it wasn't too painful. Given their strength in that chaotic 8-guild free-for-all, their chances of actually landing the final blow on the boss were pretty slim anyway. Being eliminated this way wasn't too hard to accept.
Misty Rain lost.
Yi Shu passed the intel along to Wei Chen.
No rush to make a move yet. Let's wait. We can prepare a bit more on our end too. If there's a match with a surprising outcome, that'd be perfect.
Wei Chen looked utterly despicable.
Wait for news.
Yi Shu didn't say much else. The next match was between Bluebrook Guild and Tyrannical Ambition ended up losing. Zhang Yu was the one who came up with the whole plan, but even now that they'd come this far, everyone still had their doubts. Seeing Bai Xiong eliminated so quickly, he actually started to believe that Zhang Yu hadn't been scheming after all. Zhang Yu put on a show of grace, letting out a hearty laugh to signal his compliance with the agreement. Then Jia Dynasty beat 100 Blossoms Valley. Jia Dynasty wins. Samsara beat Trampling the Void. Samsara wins. 4 guilds eliminated, and none of the matches were really a surprise. All 4 fights ended pretty quickly, but by the time they wrapped up, an hour had already passed. Over on Wei Chen's side, he was relishing the full hour of setup time, busying himself with glee. Meanwhile, the 4 guilds that had advanced kicked off the next round of their showdown. With their promotional objectives already met, they decided to cut to the chase and speed things along. So they just rented another room and ran both matches at the same time. Samsara versus Herbal Hall, Jia Dynasty versus Bluebrook Pavilion. The first match ended with Samsara beating Chinese Herb Hall, which naturally thrilled their entire guild. As soon as the result came in, the crowd immediately scattered and rushed over to the other side. Chen Guo followed along and saw that the other match was nearly over too. Bluebrook Guild had fallen behind.
It's about time to make a move.
Yi Chu sent a message to Wei Chen.
What's going on?
Herb Hall, Bluebrook Guild.
Damn, Blue Creek Pavilion really does exist.
Professionalism, huh?
Yi Shu reminded him.
Screw it, I'm going all in.
Wei Chen replied, and then went silent. By then, the 8 guilds cross-checking in the woods had long since stopped. After confirming there were no more troublemakers, they'd all gone back to watching the boss. Wei Chen was just about ready. He'd had a hell of an hour, herding these little monsters exactly where he wanted them. No easy task. Wei Chen's biggest advantage was that all his buddies were right there beside him, so he could direct them hand over fist, and if that didn't work, he'd just do it himself. In the end, they managed to hold the line. When Yi Chu's message finally came through, Wei Chen wasted no time. He picked a few people and gave the order to move. These guys had been itching for action, and when they heard the order to move, they nearly cheered out loud. They quickly moved their characters, eagerly pulling out insect-repelling smoke from their pockets and tossing it toward the spot Wei Chen had made them memorize over and over. The moment the insect-repellent smoke was tossed out, a sound erupted. The buzzing of those tiny poisonous flies was like a thunderclap, revealing just how many had piled up. Countless venomous flies erupted from the swamp pit the insect-repelling smoke had fumigated, blotting out the sky like a plague, yet all of them flew in a single, unified direction. No choice. There was insect-repelling smoke in the other direction. To stay away from it, there was only one way to go, right? The unrelenting drone of buzzing had already alerted the guild players ahead. When they turned to look, their faces all twisted in shock. Those poison flies were fast. They were on them in an instant. Wei Chen's brothers had long since hidden their guild tags, tossed out a few insect-repellent smokes, and vanished without a trace. Every player who came to the Venom Fang swamp brought insect-repellent smoke, and they used it constantly. If Wei Chen and his team's deployment had gone unnoticed, it was only because everyone else appeared to be doing the exact same thing. The insect-repelling smoke was effective enough, but for the guild players under attack now, it wouldn't achieve the result they were hoping for. This insect-repelling smoke is just a scent the bugs dislike, not an insecticide. If they get surrounded by it, the toxic flies just thrash around like headless flies, completely unharmed. If a person got close, it would bite and sting without hesitation. Players who failed to realize this paid the price in blood. This fellow, on instinct, quickly released insect-repelling smoke, but the venomous flies, surrounded by the smoke, still charged at him in a chaotic swarm. Who knows how many venom flies swarmed him? In just a few moments, that player was already on the ground. This was another terrifying aspect of these small mobs. Their sheer numbers, when they swarmed in flight, far surpassed anything ordinary monsters could muster. This was another major reason why Yi Shu and Wei Chen's tactic was viable. If these were little monsters like goblins, packed in tight and charging in a swarm, even 1,000 of them wouldn't have this kind of killing power. It's the same logic as players surrounding a boss. Even if you have 1,000 troops, only so many can actually get close to it, right? But the poison fly eliminated that problem entirely. It flew high, flew low, darted left and right, attacking from all directions at once, striking your upper, middle, lower, left and right flanks from 180 angles. Even the smallest damage converged into a one-hit kill. And the poison fly's damage was no joke. The players were level 70, but these things were 65, nowhere near the point where they could just ignore the hits. And their attacks have a chance to inflict poison damage. Haven't you seen the player corpses that got stung to death? They're already bubbling green.